In this video, I'm going to tell you the number one thing that you need to do to make money online. And this one thing is literally the difference between not making money online and actually going out there and having the opportunity to do so. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is Frank. This is the Digital Boss Life. If you find this content helpful, I'd love for you to head down below and subscribe to this channel. Maybe drop a comment. Let me know what you think about it. I'm going to keep this video just kind of straightforward and hopefully short and to the point. I say short and to the point, and usually when I start talking, it's almost 100% of the time way longer than I expected it to be. And truthfully, I just feel like I have a lot to say. But let's, a lot of important things to say. But let's get to the meat of this. The number one thing that you need to do to actually make money online. And 100% of the people who don't make money online did not do this one thing. And that is to get fucking started. To actually get fucking started. And if I could think about what you're thinking about right now is you're probably trying to project the entire business out. You're trying to see the whole layout of the land and figure out every last detail of what you need to do before actually getting going. And this is a recipe to not do anything, which is a big problem, right? So obviously, if you don't get started, you can't make money online. And everyone who's making money online at one point decided to just get going. And the truth is, you're never going to be a master at anything until you go out there and you start doing the reps. You start getting the practice. You start taking the actions, right? You can't become a black belt in jujitsu without laying on the mat, wrestling around, and taking your lumps, right? And that's what online business is. You're not going to know the speed of the game until you step to the plate and take some swings. You just can't be ready for that until you're doing it. And until you get started, the rest is just thinking, man. The rest is just thinking and assuming and waiting. And ultimately, the best thing to do is to just get moving. Now, I'm going to give you a caveat, right? A caveat to this, right? A lot of people say get started. And the thinking behind that is the more action you take, the more you get yourself out there, you get yourself on video, you start building a social media following, you start putting content out there, the more you're going to learn about what's going to work versus what doesn't work. So sometimes we're like, just hard work and just put your head down and just keep doing the thing. Just keep doing it and keep doing it. And that can be effective to get started, which is a great way to start making money online, is to actually start the thing that's going to build the business that's going to get you paid. But you also got to be flexible enough to make the halftime adjustments, right? So Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, like, what are they notorious for? They're notorious for coming in with a great action plan and then at halftime going in and switching that action plan on you and dominating you in the second half because they made adjustments during the game, right? And that's business, right? So step one is get started. Next, we start taking actions, right? Step one, get started, take action, start doing some stuff. The next thing is we're going to get some feedback, right? The next step is we're going to get feedback on the things we're doing. And then the next step after that is to make adjustments to that feedback as we're going, right? So we're not just blindly doing stuff and taking action. We're taking action based on feedback that we're getting, right? And that's business. But again, until you step into the game, you never know the speed of the game until you actually start doing it. Many people try to figure out the whole plan. You're going to try to figure out the whole plan. And in a loose sense, you kind of want to have an idea of where you're headed. Okay. But you're not going to know all the steps. You're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know what you're up against until you step into the game, right? You don't know the speed of your opponent until you step in and start throwing some shots, man. Taking some shots, throwing some shots. And that's the game, right? A lot of people let the fear of doing certain things like coming on camera, putting yourself out here in front of people, speaking your message, giving your opinion, get in the way of the success that you could potentially have on the other side of pushing through those things. But the reality is that wherever you are in life or whatever fear that you have, more than likely the thing that you fear doing is, that's kind of your resistance point, right? That's the point where you're up kind of against a resistance wall that if you don't bust through that wall, you're always going to stay in the same place, right? You're always going to stay in the same place. So if you always stay in your comfort zone, well, you always stay in your comfort zone. Nothing changes, right? So you have to push that comfort zone. But the reality is, what a lot of people don't understand is that every level that you get to, which is why you got to get started, every level that you get to creates a new comfort zone, and where you're going to have to, you're going to step a little farther and step through your comfort zone. You're going to feel some relief from that. And then you're going to recognize to go to the next level. Now you got a new comfort zone that you got to bust through. So wherever you're at, the reason that thinking about the whole journey and the whole plan is probably stopping you from getting started is because it's just too much stuff for your brain to even comprehend, for your nervous system to even take in, right? Because it's too far away from where you're at right now. So instead of focusing on the big picture, you can have a loose plan of where you're going, but the reality is it's probably going to adjust 1,000 times before you get there. You have an idea of where you're going, but you got to get through the first level of resistance, through the first level of fear. You got to push yourself past that, because I got news for you. Better get used to the fact that once you get past that level, there's going to be something else that creeps up, and that's your new challenge in life, in business, to push through that so you grow as a person and you grow in business. But again, none of this happens. You can't make the money. You can't work from home. You can't fire your boss. You can't travel the world unless you actually get started. Unless you actually get started. So everyone making money online at one point, they didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they fucking got started, man. So if you want those things, you want a greater life, you have to seek to take on greater challenges. And the easy thing is you don't have to think about all the challenges that are going to come up in your journey. You just got to get over that first hurdle. And if that first hurdle is getting started, time to make it happen. Guys, I'm Frank. This is The Digital Boss Life. I hope this video helped you out. And if it did, head down below, subscribe to this channel. I'll catch up with you on the next video.